Okay, so welcome to today. Today is what I like to call the humbling. Yesterday I had my client meetings, so that already meant that I probably wasn't going to be getting a lot of deep work done today. Yesterday I also had a frenzy of kind of little mini clout waves from Instagram and the new video, so I kind of got thrown off by that, in addition to not being able to do all the usual stuff I do. But we're back to the humbling, which is getting back to everything that led to those outcomes and doing it better, doing it bigger, being down to earth, grounded, staying off of social media. And yeah, I'm just uploading the vlog right now. I'm gonna be going into client work and spend this whole day sitting at my desk, working in silence, not really talking to anybody. And I'm eating my breakfast, courtesy of the moms. I got a breakfast sandwich here. Well, it's actually around 12:30, which when I sleep in, because I was up till 5 a.m. Last night, doing part negotiation and then majority procrastination. But yeah. My point is that I am enjoying this. I've got tea, coffee there. I've had my water, which creatine is a big add. So I do lemon water, creatine, and why am I forgetting lemon in my water, a full lemon. And then I'm also watching some Casey Neistat while this thing, is getting ready to go. And then we'll be continuing on today, but it's going to be a standard one. I want to get the script drafted for Tate, and I also want to get the thumbnail done. Thumbnail I find fun. I can just sit there and do graphic design. Thumbnails I find fun. I can just sit there and do the graphic design for hours without even second guessing. I can sit on a call, listen to music and do it. It's fun to me. But the draft for the script is the part where I really have to lock in, because I need to make sure I include everything, have a high level of detail, and also keep it concise. That's the big thing. So it's 12:30. Gonna be planning to knock out all the client work before 3 o'clock. Then I have a meeting at 3, and then I'm going to be spending the rest of the day on what I just spoke about. Okay, so I'm done on my client work. Big skip. Today did not flow the way I wanted it to, but I'm gonna go for my run now, and I'm gonna keep working on the video. I'm gonna stay up and just get it done. So it was a little bit delayed on the client work, but I made this sick thumbnail, another story video style thumbnail. It's kind of like the same thumbnail, but just made a million times better. So let me show you. Not a million times better. Honestly, I'm interested to see which one gets a better click-through rate. But these are the two side by side. Same style, of course, because they're both pretty much story videos. I think this one has way better contrast and pop than this one, just because he was so overexposed here. I had to kind of keep it pretty damp on the colors. I could have just AI'd the exposure down without thinking about it. But this one is the one I just did. Just feels like so poppy and powerful. I'm interested to see how it does, because this is a channel that hasn't been getting a lot of views, so I don't know if we're gonna get a good impression start on the video. And I also, again, don't know if the video is actually good. I think it's really good, because it's a very story style format, but it's for the YouTube algorithm to decide, not me. So yeah, we will let that work. Rob the Bank video, doing pretty meh, to be honest. It's at 3.7K, but at the current trajectory, this video's got me 2 direct book calls, a lot of very new qualified followers that I have not reached out to, because I've been busy with this video. And I wanted to talk about something that I do for all the videos that I completely forgot about, because I was planning this thumbnail here, and I don't know if this is from making a bunch of thumbnails and everything, or just making so many videos, but I spend my whole day doing this, and it gets to the point now where when I want to script a video, I don't even necessarily need to sit down and write the first step for me is literally just to close my eyes and imagine the entire video. And sometimes I like shortcut and don't do the mental exercise right, but when I do, I can literally just plan out the whole video in my head, just like watch the video, visuals, graphics, how it cuts in, out, what the music feels like for the entire video. And it takes a while and it's a lot of mental energy, but if I can focus and do it, or when I do it, it just makes such an insane video. And this is some YouTube sauce I've never spoke about here. I think I might have mentioned it once, but not as like a serious strategy. That if you're trying to make a really good video, don't like let your brain try and visualize it as you're making it. Just close your eyes and actually watch the video as it's done. Because you can literally build the entire video in your head. At least I'm able to for whatever reason. So when I build the entire video in my head, I just watch it. And then all that my job becomes to do is find an accurate way to recreate it, because it's a lot more feeling than the act. Like when I can imagine it, it's not like I remember every single word that I say. I remember key lines, but mainly the emotion that I'm going through with the video and what the visual and script elicits emotion wise, and then of course the visual for it. So I've already visualized the hook out, and it's like just by sitting in my subconscious I can imagine out the whole video, that by probably like 7 days after deciding the video, and I usually do this while I'm doing the research, definitely by the end of watching like all the competitor videos on the topic, the video is already done in my head. I just need to like put it onto paper and go through the motions of like actually finishing it. And the biggest thing I want to be doing this time is just nailing the post-production. So that's a little sauce if you're trying to make really good YouTube videos. I know maybe an entrepreneur is looking at me like I'm crazy, they just don't have time to do that. But with the higher production videos, I'm gonna go for a run, and while I'm walking back from my run, it literally just sits in my head until it's done. I can't really get it out. So I am gonna do a sit down dedicated one. I'm gonna probably have some caffeine when I get back and just, I'm doing it right now, just like seeing the hook play out, how it works, and just do this for the entire video and just keep going over it until it's just so ingrained into my head that I'm just trying to almost just like vomit it out, and it flows so well. So that's a very nuanced YouTube hack that I've like never ever heard anybody talk about, and works extreme. Like that's a cheat code for me at least. Okay, it's 3:30 a.m. and 3:41 a.m. and I've just been working on the Tate video. I went for a run. I mapped out the whole video in my head. So I haven't put pen to paper on writing it yet, but I know exactly how I'm going to do it. There's going to be 5 chapters that I'm going to go through, and I want to show you guys something that I went through and did, because if you've seen my previous thumbnails, this is just for examples, like the Brez thumbnail, you can see it's very crowded, and that's kind of been my style. Click-through rate's been okay, but I'm going to try something different, because when I started this style, I compiled a list of every single outlier crime board video I could find, and I just went through and looked at all of them. It's like, alright, which ones do good? Some of them are taken from a template that I know. Some of mine I think are actually a lot better than a lot of these. There are some that like completely shit on mine. Like, I think this Xbox one's really good. There's one on Amelia Earhart that I really like. This one is insane. If we go over here, I think my TJR one's like probably one of my best. But the issue with all of these is it's a little bit better on the Amon video. There's just not enough space. So with each of the thumbnails, I think I'm just adding too many elements, like too much stuff. You can't even really get a point across, which I'm realizing kind of just like jumps at you. So this is the draft for the Tate thumbnail. This is a lot simpler. And by the way, I do this for every thumbnail. So if you're wondering to yourself, like, Alex, that looks terrible, I know it does. It actually looks better than my usual draft. If I were to go up and show you the first one I did, usually I would I made them at first on Canva, but now I got a little bit better. This is the first one I first drafted in them on, so this is it compared to what the video ended up as. Right, so this is kind of the process that I do. This is another draft style that I tried. Whole bunch of assets. This was the initial thumbnail for Brez that flopped. Just making more assets. More assets, more assets. But yeah, that's kind of the scheme. So if I go back to this, you can see the childhood chapter of his life is going to be based on like a CIA connection that I wanted to talk about, and is obviously like the most appealing element. You of course have the cam girl business that he ran and all of his controversy involving women. So I'm gonna redact all the women's faces, maybe even pick a different photo, have that there. Also, just generally speaking, using women increases click-through rate on thumbnails. It's just a known thing. So yeah, gonna have that and then blur out their faces to make it kind of replicate what a file from a criminal case potentially look like, because that's a part of his story. But I didn't want to just do the one of him getting arrested, because again, if it doesn't have that different element, like before I had all these elements on it to make it similar to the last ones, and it just wasn't hard hitting. It just didn't punch you. And the other thumbnails, they just don't punch me that hard. And what that means is that I have to pick less stuff, like on this one. So this is his start of the story. The kickboxing section is actually falling in between these two, so it's kind of silent. This is like the cam girl and becoming rich. This is the blow up in Hustlers University, and then the jail kind of happens between here, and then it's like where he's now, where he's prioritizing crypto, business models, and all that stuff. So that is that's kind of the scheme of how I'm going to do this video. Now I will say my graphic design skill is going to have to be way better on a video like this, because there's less elements, so I have to make each element mean more and be designed better, which I like. This thumbnail, literally like this already, just I think is better than all my other previous thumbnails, because it's just simple. Like, I just overcomplicated the last ones, so I'm really happy with that. The video in my head's planned out. It's really late, so I don't know if I'm going to stay up and keep script writing, but I'll keep you guys updated. However, made really good progress on the video, so that is awesome. And actually, speaking of which, I wanted to show you guys, there's this other guy, BC Productions. I've tried to reach out to everybody who makes similar videos to me, like this guy here, BC Productions. I reached out to him because I really liked his video all the way back here, and I saw that he was like trying to switch to the crime board style only because it was the only one that was giving him these big outliers, and I've kind of watched him go and do it. And yeah, like his thumbnails, I think graphic design wise, I've been beating him out. Like, there's no shadow on this, the pin's not 3D, the double pin here doesn't really make sense. Yeah, it's just not like fully there, but his elements are way better. Like the gambling one, that's not that good. This one's insane. The peach emoji's like really smart with that one. The money, I don't know about that. That's like, eh. The Polymarket one's insane. There. Anything where you can get a government agency is good, or like very, because again, it's like leveraging brand IP. So Harvard here makes this be good. When you look at this thumbnail, if we think brand IP, it's CIA, real world, And then instead of having the money, we're gonna have this, and I might throw I have this like cash thing. It's called Cash 2. Let me find it and show you guys. But I have all of these like drag and drop at this point. Oh, this is a thumbnail that I liked. A guy, Clout Profit, made it really solid. There's like actual graphic design enhancement wise, but I think the elements are weak. So, okay, I messed it up. That says Crash 2. But sorry, I'm gonna show this to anybody who cares. And let me know if you guys like when I nerd out over YouTube, because this is honestly the kind of stuff that I don't think there's anybody, even like the people that I do YouTube for and other people that do YouTube, I can't even talk with this stuff about, because I don't have like any creator friends. Hence why I tried to reach out to all these guys, and I also joined Golf Cart. I paid for their WAP and messaged them, but I gotta get more motion, bro, because these guys, they don't really respond to me. But here you go. This is like an example of the floating money that I can do, and like this, in my opinion, shits on like pinning the money like that, just because it passively says it, and if you like pull it off to the side, people almost like subconsciously render it in addition to all the other design elements. And then when you keep it simple, the big thing that I realized is I don't want to repeat the person's face. So instead of like this one where I repeat his face over and over and over again, it makes it hard to look at. Versus this, look at the one, and then each of these elements supportingly tells its own part of the story, and that's where you leverage the brand IP to therefore enforce the click. Because that's all branding is associations, and the people that win are the ones that can kind of see between the lines of curating those associations to get a message across. And that's the big breakthrough I had. Like, I've spoke about this on this channel before. I posted videos on my main channel for pretty much a year straight, with my only focus being just YouTube, and did nothing. And I'd been posting on YouTube for a few years before that as well, and like making money, but I mean trying videos actively every day, 12 hours a day, posting for free for clients, not getting any result, like nothing. And the reason why is because I just didn't understand the psychology of what makes people care. And beyond that, a guy messaged me, and he said something along the lines of, it was kind of a funny message, but he said, why do you like make the videos that you do? And I kind of gave a shorter reply, and I just said like, yeah, usually I just know the idea is validated because the person I'm speaking about has a big brand. But to actually explain the shift that I went through, if for whatever reason he sees this, or to anybody else, if you're posting content right now and it's not working, I'm telling you, you can go to yourself and you can call it, yes, I need to post more, that is true. All those fundamentals remain the same, but you need to understand at a certain level that is a result of your lack of skill. I come onto clients' accounts that have never posted before, and immediately we're hitting what would usually take years of progress to get to, because now we're shortcutting it with my experience and what I've done. And fuck, that's not the message I want to get across. That's just like too shallow. What I wanted to talk about is a lot of people have the ego to want to use their own brand IP as like the only thing to push. Case in point, I wanted to just talk about myself and my life and what I had done, and it wasn't getting views because nobody cared. So when I realized that nobody cared, I was able to start to think about, okay, well, what do they care about? Da, da, da. And the disconnect that I see so much, and it eats me alive when and I have this terrible habit of like hate watching people, where I will just like watch people's videos and just shit on them in my head. Like, I'll never say anything, but I just do it. And I don't know if it's good or bad, but the biggest disconnect that I wish, when I want somebody to see results that I could just jam through their head, is you can manufacture the brand IP to care. Mr. Beast said this about IShowSpeed, who's the biggest streamer in the world right now. And he says, yeah, Speed unintentionally leveraged the biggest brand IP in the world with One Piece. And maybe you can call him a genius, da da da, but he did it when he was 16, right? Like, starting his thing. I think it was just coming from good intentions. But that's something that aligns his entire brand. Then he redid that when he stacked that and he added on Ronaldo. And all these countries he visits is these associations and brand IP stack as almost like a checklist of, oh, I've had that experience too, therefore I gain X amount of trust points. And the more you can recreate that, the bigger your brand will grow. And the best part is, like, you can manufacture those. You can go out to yourself and think, what is the brand IP that people care about, and how can I model it in a tasteful way into what I make? So I looked at my stuff and I said, okay, if I want to talk about making videos and personal branding and content strategy, and all, like, for me it was the info business at first because that's what I knew the best. I should be speaking about other people that people care about their info businesses. Like, it's cool that I have experience doing info, but nobody cares. They're watching the TJRs, the Imans, the Hormozis, and nobody was doing a good job covering them. I still don't think anybody is. Even me, I released the videos that I made, and I'm watching it back and thinking, dude, I could have done so much more. I could have talked so much more. So all that to say is, if you're posting or you are doing any kind of branding, it's all about your associations. And I'm a very anti-social person, so I'm not the kind of person, at least right now, that builds associations like someone like Tate or Amon did, where they physically went out and meet the people. So Tate did Jordan, Welch, and Hamza, and then he did another wave where he did a little bit of a wider audience as well. I don't remember all the second wave, but I know the two first were Welch and Hamza, and between those you got over, I think it was over 3 million views. Now over 2 million within the first year of posting. And that piggybacked his audience to go from around 100,000 to 400, 500,000 subscribers off 2 videos. So, and they were all hot, warm leads because of the way he did it. So that's one way of doing that. And then there's the way that I would prefer to do it, just because I know myself, which is create something involving that person, and then eventually like build the connect as time goes on, right? Like, now I have a connect to people at Rob's team, and I am aware that TJR is aware of me. So there's the slow game of, if I ever do want to do something with these people, which currently I don't have any care to, I don't think there's any much opportunity. It's just cool that you get connected to them as a result of thing, and you can use their brand IP to demonstrate something. It doesn't even have to be people. Brez does it with the cars, right? And I think cars are a difficult one because it's just adding so much complexity with the car pricing, and then, at least for me, I just cars are cool, but I just couldn't care that much, and I don't drive often, so it's whatever. Cars, I'm trying to think what other ways to do it. Some people do it with real estate. Some people do it with OG username handles. There's like a whole Minecraft community that comes from that world. So I'm saying all these things just because you really need to understand that if you can internalize that nobody really cares or knows who you are, you can then intentionally spiderweb out in order to make the associations that therefore attract the kind of people you want with your brand. There's a lot of people that do that with religion, right? For me personally, I don't think I ever will, at least at this phase in my life. I'm just not smart enough to. I wouldn't want to be a 19-year-old preaching, and I think if I spoke anything about it, I would be. So there's infinite possibility of how you create those associations. You just have to realize that nobody gives a fuck about you until they do. And when they do, you can use yourself as a flywheel. But even the people that have those big brand associations already use other brand associations to get those pops, right? I think Tate, who I'm making the video on, he did that recently with all those guys he met up with. He's at the phase, and I'm going to talk about this more in the video, but he's at the phase where he doesn't have clippers. His audience is kind of stabilized. So now he goes for lightning strike events. It's how kind of A-list celebrities operate, where they're not focused on a media strategy or frequency. It's more of an attendance thing because that awareness level is already created. And if you align that with Tate's play, my guess is that he wants to leverage the built reciprocity he has with the younger generation to, at some point in the future, maybe try politics, and he'll have influence over this generation already, and then eventually their children as a result of that, which could put him in an advantageous position if he's able to repair some of his reputational things. And it seems like he's the direction he's going in. So yeah, sorry, that's another rant. That's me thinking about the video and what I want to say in it, slipping out. But this is a condensed down thumbnail. It's very late. I had an idea for something I wanted to check. That video I was talking about earlier with the client, off to a pretty hot start. So that is good to see. And the click-through rate is looking nice. So I am going to send the client a little update on that. And then I need to fix my sleep schedule. I don't know why I'm up so late. I don't have any real reason to be anymore. Monday maybe, but just not anymore. So I definitely need to get some sleep and fix this schedule. What time do I have a meeting tomorrow? Because yeah, I don't know. This is something you guys will notice about me, is I will either, and for anybody new that's watching this, I feel so odd like walking through all this stuff. Okay, I have to do my taxes over the weekend, but yeah, I literally am going to be either waking up at 4 a.m., going to bed at 4 a.m. No in between. So right now it's kind of going to bed at 4 a.m. It's now 4:02. And yeah, I need to fix this. So meeting at 2 p.m. tomorrow, not really an issue. It's going to be a cool call. Just chat with the client. A few other people on the hook. I got 2 sales calls on Friday. I got another client call Thursday. I want to get this video literally like all finalized by the end of tomorrow, and maybe even potentially recorded. But yeah, making good progress. So that's kind of the update on the whole thing. And yeah, good day.